I'm Primal Piggy. Thank you for joining me for another BDSM United podcast. A safe word. Well, safe words are a loaded topic. They come with a lot of baggage and they get a lot of airplay everywhere. I think it's a lot of 50 Shades of Gray kind of influence there, where they made safe words uh, they put that terminology of safe word at the forefront of BDSM. I wish we could put a lot of other things at the forefront, but oh, things like safe words are there. And because they're out there and everyone uses the terminology, there's also a lot of confusion because people don't always say the right things about what safe words are. They give this like cookie cutter definition and a cookie cutter meaning, and, the reality is that not everyone uses them just because they're a thing that everyone says that they have. Let's talk a little bit more. A safe word is something you use during a scene to let your partner know if you're okay, or you need to slow down, or you need to readjust, or simply you need to stop. While most kinksters use the stoplight method, you really use any words, anything that you can remember easily, as long as it's not something normally said during a scene or as part of a role play. During some intense scenes, the bottom may say things like no or stop or ouch, or they may scream like you're killing them. This is pretty normal during a scene, uh, especially one that includes some type of role play, but it doesn't mean they're actually wanting you to stop what you're doing. So, in these circumstances, we use safe words to help communicate our needs to our tops without unnecessarily disturbing the scene's flow. Stoplight method that we just mentioned is simply red, yellow, and green. I know stoplights are different in different countries, and so please adjust accordingly if stoplights are not red, yellow, and green in your region. Here in the States where I'm from, red means stop. Stop right now. Either the bottom can't handle what you're doing to them, they're in way too much pain, they're not in the right headspace, or possibly something medically has gone wrong. Yellow means to slow down, or I need to readjust, or give me a minute to catch my breath. While green isn't really used too much during a scene, it means I'm okay, I'm having a good time, please don't stop. If a Dom feels the need to check in with the sub, they can either say that they're okay, or they can ask, are we still green? The sub can either, or sorry, the sub can either reply green or any of the other safe words that they need to communicate to their Dom at that moment. And, you know, top and bottom doesn't always correlate to sub and Dom, but we sometimes use those things interchangeably, even though we probably shouldn't. But your safe word should be picked out before you start your search for a partner, not like 5 minutes before a scene. You need to have your safe word memorized. So if or when the time comes that you'll actually be able to say it. This could be while you're starting to float off to subspace, having pain you can't handle, or coming the 50th time that hour. It's not so easy when you add all of that to the picture. Now, there are other methods of communicating a safe word besides actually saying them. For instance, if you're gagged or you hit subspace hard, you may not be able to speak. To communicate to your top, you can tap a certain amount of times, hold something to drop like a ball or a scarf. You could have a bell, a clicker, a whistle. You could have anything really. It can be anything that you can remember to do, and the top understands the signal to avoid any physical or mental damage during the scene. A top should also have a safe word. While they normally don't shout the word red before stopping a scene, they can stop and take a break if they see that the bottom is struggling or upset. This is why it's important to take time to learn your partner's body and how they react to various types of pleasure, different sensations, different types of pain. There's a big debate if uh, a submissive in a DS relationship should have the ability to safe word during a punishment. I think they should have a safe word, but only use it for emergencies, not to get out of the agreed to punishment for breaking the agreed to rule. Just like during a scene, things can go wrong during a real world punishment. Now, this isn't a punishment or a play punishment. We're talking about when someone receives a punishment for in real life for a rule that they break in real life uh, when their relationship dynamic isn't just in the bedroom, but it carries over into real life. When you're negotiating various things about your potential dynamic, don't forget to discuss uh, consequences for the rules as well. If they involve punishments, then you need to discuss, you know, um, what they are and if they are activities that may it may be useful to have safe words for. If there's something you can't do because of either physical or mental reasons, you really need to let your potential partner know. For example, if you have bad knees, you shouldn't be kneeling on rice, or if someone abused you with a wooden spoon, you probably want to avoid the spoon. You can list those things as hard limits so that the so that the behavior does not physically or mentally harm you as part of a scene or part of a real world relationship. Another type of safe word is for medical conditions. And we've known someone who was diabetic, so her medical safe word was sugar. That means she needed to stop and either take her meds, check her blood sugar, or eat or drink something. A rope bottom could use numb as a safe word to alert the trigger that something's numb and they need to readjust. You can make safe words personal to you and to your condition, but again, make it easy for both of you to remember. Everyone should have a safe word, even someone in an MS dynamic. Normally, a slave isn't allowed to have a safe word because they have negotiated every possible situation and completely trust their masters not to cause any harm to them. Since a master is a human being and can make mistakes and isn't a mind reader, there should be some kind of signal to let them know that there's an emergency that needs to be dealt with. Whether that's a safe word or something else, there needs to be something there, some type of safeguard. A wise master is going to incorporate that and make room for that. But if you're in a newer MS relationship, we just wanted to say something that should be there. If you're a newer dominant, you need to make sure that if you're leaning towards an MS relationship, that you need to make accommodations for your humanity, for a mistake that you may make, and that you need to, allow them some way to signal you that there's an emergency. Some of those in an MS use mercy as a safe word. By using mercy, they're letting their master know that they would like to stop or take a break. It's then up to the master to then have mercy on their slave and grant their wish if it's the master's desire. This type of safe word or pseudo safe word still serves its purpose of communicating to the master the need or the desire to stop, while still allowing the master to be completely in control. Now, we hope that this clears up most of the confusion of what a safe word is and how to use it. We want to note that you should never feel ashamed for having to use the safe word or just having to communicate in general. It doesn't make you weak or less of a bottom. Tops should never criticize or punish a bottom for having to use their safe words. Instead, build them up and let them know how proud you are for the times when if they have to ever use them. It's important to vent your potential top or a dominant really well, because safe words are just words. And if you have a predator or an abuser, they may not honor your words. If safe words are ignored, a lot of unwanted physical, emotional damage, hurt, injury, even a fatality can be done during a scene. And a lot of things can happen that you haven't consented to. You definitely want to make sure that your potential partner, play partner, will honor any of the words that you use or any of the forms of communication that you bring to the table, whether you're a top or a bottom. I'm Primal Piggy. Thank you for joining me for this BDSM United podcast where we've talked about safe words, what they are, what they aren't. Just the important thing is that we have a good level of communication, because there is risks involved with all of the things that we enjoy. You can find all of our resources and more at www.bdsmunited.com. It's a joy speaking with you today, and I'll talk with you again soon.